It has been said that goals that are not written down are only wishes. Now, I have found that true most of my life. In this video, I want to share with you some goals that I set for the first time, written down in 2019 for the year 2020 when I moved to doing this full time. And I want to share with you what that has changed and how that has impacted my life and my growth as a content creator and as a person. So let's back up to 2019. I had just resigned from my full-time career of doing student ministry. I was getting older and felt God was leading me in a little bit different direction to be an entrepreneur. And so I took a job as a communication specialist for a nonprofit company, and I did that for about a year. That was in 2019. So in 2019, the whole time, I was preparing my mind and my finances for going into this YouTube thing full-time in 2022. And so my wife and I went out to lunch one day, and she asked me to bring a pad of paper, and I actually brought this specific legal pad, and we sat down and she challenged me to think through and write down some goals for 2020 when I went full-time on YouTube. And I never really done that, and I didn't know the power of that. So in this video, I want to share with you some of the goals that I wrote down in 2022. We'll talk about whether or not those came to fruition, but then also some really exciting goals that I have for 2022. And hopefully this video will just be an encouragement to you as well as an inspiration. So here we go. Back in 2019, here were some of the goals that I had set. Number one, weekly live streams on my channel. Now, of course, I've been doing live streams with Chana, Technodad, Joe from Joe and Tell, Aaron from Aaron's Audio Corner. We've been doing that for years, but I wanted to begin to do regular, consistent live streams on my channel. And so that was one of the things I had as a goal in 2020, but that didn't really happen until probably earlier this year. So that goal we did not meet. Another one was to attend CEDIA. I'd always wanted to go to CEDIA. It's a big trade show. They kind of bounce around different locations every year. But needless to say, that didn't happen because of the pandemic. Everything was shut down in 2020. I was wanting to go and scheduled to go, had all my flight, hotel, everything arranged, even had some brand deals that I had worked out with some companies to do some content creation for them at the event in 2021, but literally probably the week before, maybe 2 weeks before, pretty much all the brands just started backing out again because of the pandemic. And so there were concerns there, so I went ahead and backed out. But this year, CEDIA 2022 is going down, so I'm excited about that. Another one that I wrote down was purchase a laptop. One thing that I found is that as I knew that I was going to be traveling more for things like Expona, CEDIA, different events across the country, I wanted to be able to bring a laptop with me so that I could do editing in the hotel, take notes, meeting, all that kind of stuff. So I did actually purchase a 13-inch MacBook. I believe I purchased that, it's been over a year ago now. So that actually came to fruition, so that was good. Create 3 online courses. Now this is something I've been wanting to do for a while now. I've created 1 course, but I haven't created 3 courses. I built a website called youthmancourses.com. And so the only course I have on there right now is how to score incredible Youthman deals. And so over the years, I've just been known to find just really, really great deals over and over and over and over. And that's what I spent probably the first 12 to 14 years using those methods to build up and have a dedicated theater room that really didn't cost me any money out of pocket. And so I did make an online course, but I still have a few more to make. So that one I can't check off yet. The last one for 2020. Now this was a big goal, but it was a big stretch too. And so I've never made 6 figures in my life. But I had a dream. I'm like, you know what? I want to see if I can build up this brand, build up this YouTube channel, build up different revenue streams from it, and cross 6 figures. So unfortunately, that did not happen in 2020, but it was pretty awesome. In 2021, I was able to meet that goal through a variety of different revenue streams that I have here on YouTube, It's definitely not just from ad revenue. I mean, that's a small portion of it, but that was pretty awesome to finally hit that goal in 2021. Well, now I want to transition into 2022 because I've got some goals that I have written down. Some of them I've already made. Some of them are near completion, and some of them are kind of dreamland. And so I want to share those with you. So goals for 2022, I wanted to be able to allow Jessica, my wife, to take a 6-month leave of absence. She's been teaching for 21 years. Last year was extremely, extremely difficult. And so we were at a point where she was like at a breaking point. She just needed a mental break and a physical break. And so we were able, during the past 6 months, for her to take a 6-month leave of absence. And so I'm extremely grateful for that. Like I said, it has done wonders for our marriage. It has done wonders for her personally, just being able to take that time out. But you guys have been a huge part of that through watching the videos, through using the affiliate links. My patrons have been a huge part of that. Being able to support my wife fully and let her to be able to just relax and have some downtime so that she can go back to work, which she just started earlier this week. Today was their first day of class with their students, and she's super pumped about that. And so that one we were able to achieve. Another goal that I have for 2022 is to connect with you on a more personal level. And one way that I'm doing that is through Patreon. On Patreon, we're doing monthly and weekly Zooms. And so we can answer questions, talk about your setup. I'm an open book if you want to ask about YouTube, personal life, business. We have a lot of fun. And so if you're interested in that, you can head over to patreon.com/Youthman. Upgrade my camera to a 4K, one that supports 4K 60. And so when I film my previous camera, well, let me just back up. I was able to meet that goal. So this camera I'm filming on right now is a Canon R6 with I think it's an 18 to 35 millimeter lens. Love this camera, absolutely love it. It's a mirrorless camera. Prior to that, I had a Canon M6 Mark II. And so the M6 was a great camera. It was beautiful. It was a huge upgrade over my previous Nikon camera. If you look back at my old videos, they're garbage, man. The Nikon was great for photography, but it was horrible for videography. And so the biggest challenge I had was when I wanted to do B-roll. So anytime that I'm talking and I'm showing you a product, you know, maybe we're talking about this remote and I do some close-ups and some real slow pans of it. On the old camera, I had to film in 30 frames a second, so you can't slow that footage down or it'll be choppy. I could slow it down, but I had to downgrade from 4K to 1080p, and I just really didn't want to do that. And so I think earlier this year, or maybe just at the end of last year, I was able to purchase this camera. So that we can check off my list, my goals for 2022. Another one that I had that we were able to make happen was at the beginning of the year, I had an opportunity and I had a dream in January of 2022 to build and develop a AV event for enthusiasts like yourself from the ground up. And myself and a partner, Ryan Charpentier, did just that. We built M-Wave, which is the Midwest AV Experience. If you're not familiar with it, I'll leave a link down in the description below. You can check it out, MidwestAVExperience.com. It was a phenomenal event. It was absolutely incredible, getting to meet a lot of you guys. Several of my patrons were there. It was just a cool event to be able to have some unique experiences, build some relationships, and just to hear some incredible, incredible products and see some side-by-side comparisons. So we're already in plans for 2023 on that. Another goal in 2022 was to celebrate mine and Jessica's 25th anniversary in Hawaii. We've never been to Hawaii. That did not take place because, again, of the pandemic. There was just too many areas in Hawaii that were kind of still closed down, and so we didn't want to invest that much time, that much money into a trip from Florida to Hawaii and not be able to have access to all the locations and the different activities that you can do on the islands. So we ended up going on a cruise to celebrate our 25th, and that was fantastic. We had a great time, but that Hawaii trip is now moved to 2023, written down, and so I'm excited about that. Another goal that I have that's literally right around the corner is to hit 100,000 subscribers here on the channel. If you find value in the content that I make in home theater, audio and video, as well as hopefully inspirational videos like this, take a moment, just hit the subscribe button. We are really close. I believe we're at 97,500 at the time of this video. And my goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers, but I have a specific goal. Just yesterday, there was a teacher, again, my wife's a school teacher. There was a teacher that's a friend of my wife's, and she reached out on Facebook and said, hey, would there be anybody interested in coming and speaking to a group of middle schoolers? Well, having a youth pastor background, I'm used to speaking to middle schoolers in high school, did that for 21 years. And so I volunteered to show up and to share with them. So she gave me 4 dates. It was one in September, mid-September, mid-October, November, and December. And so I thought to myself, it would be cool to share with them kind of my journey along this YouTube path and how that's kind of impacted my life and how I got here and some of the dreams and goals that I had and what it took to get to this point. Because I realize that there are a lot of middle schoolers and high schoolers and even elementary students that are growing up in this technology age. They're always seeing social media and content creators, and it's one of the #1 sought after professions from that age group. And so I thought it'd be really cool to share that experience with them and do some Q&A about YouTube and social media and so forth. But I had the option. I know I'm on track to hitting 100,000 subscribers probably by October the 1st. So the safe bet would be, let me schedule it to October, mid-October. I'll have hit it by then, absolutely. And then I will be able to share with them about that milestone. But I said, you know what? I began thinking about this video and I'm like, you know what? Let's set a goal and let's just see if we can achieve it. People say if you aim for the stars and hit the moon, you still succeeded. And so we're going to go for it. And I want you to help me to get to 100,000 subscribers before September 14th. That's the date that I'll be sharing with these middle schoolers. And I would love to be able to tell them, hey, look, here was a goal that I set and I was able to make it happen with the help of my supporters. So I'd greatly appreciate that. And one of the reasons why I want to hit that is because I'm giving away $33,000 in giveaways. I partnered with a ton of brands that I have worked with over the past 4 years, and they've been so gracious to provide some really incredible products for you guys to win. And so if you're interested in that, again, I'll have a link down in the description. Head over to youthmanreviews.com/road to 100K. Another couple items that I have on my list is physically. Like over the past 10 years, man, I've just seen a little bit of weight added here and here and here every single year. And so I finally crossed over 200 pounds. I'm like, man, I need to get back in shape. And so I've made a written goal to get back down to 175. I think anything lower than that, I'll just be too skinny, but I want to be 175. Now, granted, if I'm 185 and I'm jacked, fine, but I know my body type. I'm never going to be huge, muscle bound. But I am also hitting the gym 2 to 3 times a week with my son to help lose weight, to build some muscle, and to get in shape. And so that's a physical goal that I've written down. So I'm on my way. I've lost 10 pounds so far, but I'm on my way to 175 pounds. And being at the gym 2 to 3 times a week, we've been pretty consistent with being able to make that happen. Last 3 goals that I've written down is to update my office and my live streaming setup. So if you watch the channel and you've seen my live streams, you'll see that I'm in my home office, but it's open, it's not closed. And so you'll see my kids walk in, you'll see people come in and my wife in the kitchen and different things like that. And it's just kind of distracting. So I'd love to be able to enclose either that space or maybe even our bedroom, make that a separate office that I could kind of set up just a really cool vibe, a nice background, get some LED lights and just make that more conducive to live streaming. So that's one of my goals. A goal for the theater room, I haven't talked about any goals for that. Actually, I have 2 goals. Number 1, eventually I want to upgrade my side surrounds and maybe my Atmos. I'm not sure yet, but at least my side surrounds and rear surrounds to JTR. So I want to go from a wide dispersion speaker to a direct radiating speaker. So JTR makes a 110, which is it's an angled 10-inch driver that's a coaxial driver. So it has a tweeter in the middle of the mid-range driver, and so that produces a full range, you know, highs, mids, as well as lows. So I'm wanting to do that, but again, it's pretty expensive, so that's going to be over time. So I've got it as a goal for 2022. May or may not happen, but if it doesn't, hey, there's always 2023. And then the other goal that I have, and again, this one's it's kind of one of those stretchy things. I mean, it probably isn't going to happen, but I'm writing it down. I can always move it to another year if it doesn't happen this year, but I would love to upgrade to a new JVC, probably the NZ8. I'd love to go with a laser projector. It'd be a tad bit brighter than my NX7. Love the picture quality, love the NX7, just wish it was a little bit brighter, and over time it gets dimmer and dimmer because it's a bulb. And so by going with a laser projector, you really don't have that. It stays pretty consistent, pretty bright over the length of its duration and lifespan, and you get about 20,000 hours on the laser versus about 3,000 hours on a bulb. So those are some of the goals that I've got for the theater room, personal goals, as well as business goals for Youthman. So I've shared with you my goals, but I would love to hear your goals down in the comments. Let me know, write them down, go for them. I believe in you. I know you can achieve them if you really put your heart and your mind to it. I've seen physically firsthand the value of writing down goals in my own life, and I'm going to continue to do that as I continue to grow as a person as well as a business owner. Well, guys, I've got some incredible products that I'll be reviewing over the next several weeks, so make sure you're subscribed. Also, check out the links down in the description for M-Wave as well as the road to 100,000 subscribers. And as always, you guys be blessed, and we will catch you in the next video.